Welcome to Home Dad Chat, brought to you by the National At Home Dad Network. My name is Brock,
My name is Danny.
and we are here to talk about life as stay at home dads. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
No, I don't want much. I even love handmade crafts made of macaroni. Come on now, you should know me. Times I might eat too much. No worry about my weight, got the dad bod rocking on me. Sketches on my feet, cargo shorts look good on me. I'm a dad, that's what I do.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Home Dad Chat. It is coming up at the beginning of December now. And man, count down those days until all the fun holiday stuff kicks in. Of course, I imagine most of you probably are, had to take and unbutton maybe one of the buttons or your zipper on your fly there to get a little bit of room after eating all the turkey and stuffing and everything else. I know I probably ate a bit too much. And so, you can't get away with watching enough football as well. But tonight we're going to have some fun just talking about some holiday movies, movies that Danny and I like, movies that people might consider Christmas or holiday movies, and maybe some that people, maybe they don't, or they want to argue about it. And I'm totally fine with that. Like, I love a good movie argument. And so we'll be discussing that. But also too, before we get into all of that, we're going to talk a little bit of serious life before we get into the fun stuff, because with it being the holidays, mental health is something that should definitely be kept at the forefront, especially self-awareness, honestly, of what's going on, and, getting around your family and just all the intensity that comes with that can be a little bit unnerving. And so Danny and I wanted to talk a little bit about just some different ways that that might be able to help you out. And so I'm going to let Danny start this out, and I'll see where I can step in, because I feel like Danny's become quite the expert at talking about mental health, and which is great.
That.
Well, yeah, but you do a good job with it, man, honestly, and you've put a good platform out there for guys to be able to jump on and help out. So yeah, man. Yeah. What do you think about all this, holidays and pandemic and just politics and all this other crazy stuff going on in the world? How do you go about like functioning during all that?
Yeah, it's really surprising how stressful something so amazing can be. You get this, let's go Thanksgiving dinner, and it's, if you think about it, and especially if you think about the memories you have of it, or maybe you'd had as a kid, and this amazing time with your family, running around with your cousins, or hanging out with your brothers and sisters, or your parents, having a big meal, everybody doing their thing. There's always like stories about this person needs to bring their dressing, and this person's got to make the mashed potatoes, and all the stuff that goes with it. It can be so much fun. And in hindsight, of course, it always is. You look at it, and even the things that went wrong, you burned the rolls again or whatever, which is famous at our house, or at least at my mom's house. We'd always burn the bread. My mom would always burn the bread. It's just
That's
what
sacrilegious
she did,
in my family.
Right?
That is sacrilegious.
We
you can't do that.
Right. We started bringing extra because we knew that, it's just, if it happens, and every time my mom would be like, oh, I got distracted. I put it on for 6 minutes or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I got more bread in there already. We know you burned it. It's fine. But it's funny in hindsight, and my mom would laugh about it every year. I mean, she would laugh about it even at the dinner table. We were eating crunchy rolls and she was fine with it. But
is that like the turkey from National Lampoon Christmas? You're like, put some more gravy on it.
Get a little more gravy.
Put a little more butter on that bread.
Right. Yeah. And you just, and you get past it. You enjoy it. You do what you can do. But there's so much about it that's so stressful. Whether it's, just simply as a full-time caretaker, get your kids dressed up, and that's the worst. Hopefully you don't have to wear like the holiday sweaters or whatever, or a shirt and tie even on your kids, or put them in a dress, pajamas, whatever. I don't care personally. Get them comfortable, but even that, get them up, get them dressed, get them in the car, drive them 2-3 hours to grandma's house. And yeah, it's an amazing time and I wouldn't want to miss it, but it is so stressful. And it is so draining. And at the end of it, you just kind of walk away like, oh God, we just go home now. I'm so tired. And definitely overeating. I eat my feelings. So I'm definitely going to be eating a lot this Thanksgiving. But the reality of the stress behind it is where I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit, just to see that, one, we all get it. Whether we're where we have issues with mental illness or mental health or not, anybody can get stressed out this time of year.
Yeah.
There's so many things that we can put upon ourselves that are just like, because we're going into the Christmas season. Did I buy so-and-so a gift? Did so-and-so get get me what I wanted? What about my kids? Am I doing too much? If I'm not doing enough, how do I do all the things, the traditions that we're supposed to do? How do I get my Christmas card made if you do that? And it all just comes down to being stressful.
Yeah.
And I want to just tell everybody, especially because, you mentioned it before, but we do have a mental health check-in twice a week with the National At-Home Dad Network for all of our at-home dads and a couple of extra dads, other dads from another group. And it's a good moment to just sit with other people that are kind of in your situation, right? And just talk, just say, this is what's going on, and have those people go, yeah, right. I know that stinks, man. Or yeah, right. That was amazing. I'm going to do that with my kid this year or whatever, because it's good and it's, not as good. But having that support group is incredibly beneficial for me personally. I have people that I can fall on basically if things get bad. And I have the privilege, I think, of being a part of the support group for other people. And that's something that I want to say this week actually is the week before Thanksgiving, the day before Thanksgiving or whatever. But for this week, we had canceled the mental health check-in for Thursday because it falls on Thanksgiving, but we're still there. We're still available, for anybody that gets stressed out, anybody that might get, overwhelmed by what's going on. We have the ability to reach out to each other and say,
That's
hey,
awesome.
I just need to know that someone's in this situation with me.
Yeah.
And all through the Christmas season and all probably through the next year and from now on, we'll still have that support. And if you're looking for it, if there's a place, if you don't have a place, let's just say that you can find the support you need especially as a primary caretaker and at-home dad, especially, that's kind of where our focus is, but men in general too, there are places for you to reach out to.
Yeah.
And I want people to understand that we all get stressed out. We all get upset.
Well, I think too, like
that
in that situation, it's good to go back to the old school way of things, man, like exchange phone numbers, too. Like I was telling you that before we jumped on here. Like I give my phone number out to people, and, my wife knows, like, at any given time, like I might get a phone call or a text message. Someone's just like, I just need to talk for a few minutes. I'm like, great. Like, let's do it. And just have a few moments to just sit in the bedroom, or now that I've got this office space, which is nice, and be able to do that for a few minutes. And, basically at the end of like 5 minutes of conversation, be like, do you feel better? Did you get enough off of your chest, or you need to talk about something else? And, most times it's been always just like, nope, that's all I needed. That's great. Thank you so much. And get back in there and, hopefully can finish out the rest of the day. So, I think that that's a big thing, especially with what you guys have built, on the Thursday night check-ins and stuff. Like, make sure you got the phone numbers of those guys so that way they know. And anybody that, if they're not connected, and you just listen to this podcast, like, get connected, reach out to somebody, if you're in like the closed group, like, get involved in that. I even just started up a Discord account, and actually have like the guys who come into the Dad Lounge, they all are in there. And if you join the Dad Lounge and you want in, and all I got to get is your phone number, and I can get you into the Discord channel there. And then that way you have even more contact with guys to be able to talk to. So yeah, man, I think that's awesome. I love that. That's great. I'm glad that there's that open communication going on.
Yeah. And if anybody needs it, just reach out. You
Definitely,
can reach us through Anchor too, as well. We have the phone number there. You can leave a voicemail or, email or whatever you need to be.
Yeah. You can email us at podcast@athomedad.org. Super, super easy email. Danny and I will both get it. So one of us will answer it.
That's right.
I always tell everybody, I'm like, I have my phone on me at all times. And it's funny, I get people that look at me weird. I'm like, no, really, like I get a message and you get an answer like within a few minutes, unless I'm like super busy doing something, which is very rare. I can usually like, fake going to the bathroom for 5 minutes to answer a message.
That's right. That's right.
That's the way you do it right there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, definitely take advantage of that. Don't feel like you have to sit in your feelings where, you're going to wallow and whatnot and just sit in that pit of despair. Like there is a way out, and there's always a hand to pull you out of it. So take advantage of it for sure. Well, kind of switching gears a little bit. So the
Mhm.
holiday season is in full swing, with everything, coming forward, and so many different holiday events taking place. Actually, tonight, my family, we went to the Festival of Lights, which is a big like Christmas light show. You can walk through the zoo here in Cincinnati, and they've got all kinds of awesome Christmas lights, Santa Claus, all
Yeah.
kinds of the festival
And
stuff that you have.
Cincinnati's good on every single day for their lights.
Pretty
I
much.
mean, we had just some amazing pictures that we took throughout that week while we were there in Cincinnati for
Oh,
Home
yeah.
Con. And it was just like, wow, how do they do this? I mean, we went under a bridge. I think it was you and I actually, we were driving. And instead of having just the pale, like white lights under it, they had multicolored lights as we drove through. And it just
Yeah.
looked amazing. I'm like, this place knows how to do lights for
Yeah.
sure.
They definitely pride themselves in their ability to do lights. They actually do a thing in the summer, which is really cool, and they call it Light Up the River, or Light Up the Banks or something like that. And so like Paul Brown Stadium, Great American Ballpark, like all that stuff, it's all lit up for an entire evening, and you just get all the professional photographers and whatnot out there just snapping these shots because it comes down on the river and you get these beautiful things. So yeah,
Sure,
but
the zoo must have been amazing.
the zoo's awesome. It's actually been voted like the number one like light display in the country for like 3 or 4 years. So
Wow.
so it's pretty neat. There are like thousands upon thousands of lights. They actually start putting them up in like July, which is really fun to like walk through and like see the lights like being put up on the trees and stuff. Because I mean, it takes a while. You got to put a lot of effort into it. But so we did that. We just walked around and checked that out, and that was a good time. And yeah, so I mean, stuff like that it's what's coming into play. I told my wife I really wanted to go to Germany at some point because of just the amazing like Christmas shops and village stuff that they have and different things. So who knows, down the road we'll do that. But along with all that, man, I love vegging out watching like Christmas movies. That's I love movies in general, but Christmas movies, there's just something like special about that. And there are those that are like the quintessential Christmas movie. Like you just know because it's set in that time period of everything going on. But then there are those that they might have like a hint of Christmas in them, and you have to question like, is it a Christmas movie does it fit a Christmas movie? So I'll say this. So like some of my favorite actual Christmas movies are like the Home Alone series, only 1 and 2. Anything past that doesn't count. It's Macaulay Culkin or nothing.
That's right.
So Home Alone series 1 and 2, National Lampoon Christmas Vacation is another big one. Elf, Christmas Story.
Yes.
Gosh, what else is there that I can put into that? Basically, like the old school, like Rudolph's, Frosty the Snowman, like that whole setup of like the claymation. Is a definite.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Definitely my top 5. So
Charlie Brown Christmas is definitely part of that as well. Which, by the way, like real quick sidebar. So Charlie Brown Christmas was something that always showed on like ABC, like like that was the thing. And then freaking Apple TV comes in and buys out that movie and puts it on their platform and says that this is the only way you can watch it. And I don't know if you heard about that or not, but like last year people were like, what the hell, Apple? Like, geez. And they ended up like making a deal with like PBS to like show the Peanut movies, like shows on PBS, because at least it's public access or whatever. But man, that's pretty cool. I mean, that was like, dude, like honestly to me, like I'm like, that's kind of sleazy. Like that's straight up the Grinch right there to me.
Yeah, this is a tradition. This is one of the, I think every person living in the last 3 generations, probably, I don't know, but probably
easily
3 generations easily have seen that movie, know what the Peanuts are, know what the Peanut Christmas movie is. It's all there. The Great Pumpkin, all of those things. That's just a part of the,
and they took them all
public domain at this point.
You would think so. But they all went to Apple TV. So it's kind of a screwy situation there. But yeah, so those movies, I'm trying to think. So I always find like The Nightmare Before Christmas to be like a combination of Halloween and Christmas. Personally, it floats and it floats through the whole thing right there.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. So some controversial ones.
Mhm.
All right. Well, here, let me step back one time before we get into that. So National Lampoon Christmas Vacation, a little bit of a like, did you know kind of thing. So in National Lampoon Christmas Vacation, you have Russ or Russell, the son in the movie. Do you know who that kid grew up to be? Who he is now as an actor? Did I tell us? No, I told you off camera.
Just told me. All right. Okay.
I just told you off camera.
So yes, I do know,
Yeah,
but I've
you
only
do.
known for 7 days.
True. So
and I still went, what? No
Yeah.
way.
So I only learned this because of TikTok, but that kid grew up to become Leonard Hofstadter, the Big Bang Theory. He was also David on Roseanne, like same guy, same kid.
Oh,
I was
man,
just like,
David on Roseanne. God, yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that now.
yeah.
Man.
So, which is really weird too, because his love interest in Roseanne, I can't think of her name. Curly
She
Black.
came back for,
She was in Big Bang Theory as well for
Yeah.
a while too.
I don't remember
which
the
I was-
actress's name.
Yeah, which I thought was pretty funny as well, because they like had a really like kind of this like love-hate relationship. It was hilarious. But anyway, I digress. So there's kind of a fun little thing about that. So a movie that was set, or that I would consider to be a quote unquote kind of Christmas movie, the Gremlins. Gremlins the movie. You understand why?
It was set at Christmas. He was looking for a Christmas gift for his son
Exactly. The
while
whole
he was
thing
on a
takes
vacation
place
or whatever,
during
so.
the Christmas season.
because it's a Christmas gift.
Exactly.
Was
Exactly.
the Mogwai. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
So
was his
Christmas
whatever his
movie. Yeah,
name
Gizmo.
is. No, the name of the Gizmo. Thank you.
Gizmo. Yeah.
I remember Mogwai. I didn't remember Christmas.
Yeah. So you
Or
had
Gizmo.
you had Gizmo, and fed him, and he turned into had the gremlins or whatever. But
Spike.
so Spike. Yep. So that to me is a Christmas movie. Even though, you got the Spike going.
I'm trying to, to get out there.
I don't know, man. It might take a little bit more.
Yeah. Oh, he's got a lot more than I do. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Die Hard.
Yeah. Well known that is thought of as a Christmas movie.
Right. So
Did happen at Christmas.
there's an interesting argument going about like, well, Die Hard, it could have been set at any time. It didn't have to be Christmas. And someone argued back, well, no, it would have to be at Christmas, because there is no other time in the year in corporate where you have that many people together in one building for a celebration like that. No other thing. So it only makes sense that it's set actually in the Christmas time, which still then makes it a Christmas movie, because that's the only time. I thought that was a pretty good argument personally.
Yep. Not very Christmassy per se, but yeah, definitely I would say it would fall in line as a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it could not happen any other time.
Now you said that you didn't really grow up celebrating Christmas.
Mhm.
And you're a little bit older than me, and I only saw this movie just recently myself, but have you ever seen White Christmas?
The original with
Yeah.
Bing Crosby.
Bing
and,
Crosby? Yep. Fred
and
Astaire.
Danny Kaye.
Or Danny Kaye.
Fred
Yeah,
Astaire.
Danny Kaye, not Fred
Danny
Astaire.
Kaye,
Danny Kaye. Yeah.
But yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I've seen almost everything that Danny Kaye was in, I think, and almost everything Fred Astaire was in, I think, because they were amazing.
Singing in the Rain.
Gene Kelly and
Gene Kelly,
Gene
Fred
Kelly,
Astaire.
but yeah.
Yep.
Gene Kelly as D'Artagnan in the Three Musketeers.
Oh.
That was one of the most amazing movies because I love the
Okay.
Musketeers. So
Yeah.
but definitely not Christmas movies. But
No, definitely not a Christmas
yeah.
movie. But still,
yeah,
though.
I've seen all of those from when I
Okay.
was a kid, because they were on all the time. I never sat and watched it end to end at any point, but they were always on. It was every year, and the songs really what hit it for me, because Christmas songs above and beyond, no matter what your beliefs are, most of the times when you hear a Christmas song, it's not only just iconic as a Christmas song, but it's just a very heartfelt, very loving type of song. You know, when they start and they're singing it, and especially back then, Bing Crosby, I mean, blah, 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 blah. He was just the dude at the time, right? And everything that he did was just amazing, especially when it came to things like Christmas songs, just very tone and everything. It was great.
Well, and you had all those performers back in the day that did like those old movies like that. And yeah, they're very much in that line of things. I think it's interesting. One movie that gets thrown into the Christmas season, like I think they usually play it on like network television every year, is Sound of Music, which doesn't even like, I don't
Mhm.
see any way how that fits into being like a Christmas movie. Like in no way, shape, or form does it have any
Mhm.
like checked
Yeah, I don't think
boxes.
Christmas happens at all in that movie. So,
No, but for whatever reason, it gets played every year at Christmas time. I
mhm.
remember just as a kid sitting and watching it with my mom and my grandma and stuff at the house. And so yeah, it's weird. I don't understand how that gets put in there. But hey, network TV, you gotta
Yeah,
sell
I'll
airtime somehow.
I'll allow it. I love that movie.
It's a good movie.
Again, the
Yeah.
singing, I love musicals, and I mean, absolutely adore when she, just at the very beginning, when she starts singing how the hills are alive. And I'm just like, man, I wish I could hit those notes.
Yeah.
I just wish I could sing with you late. But of course, she's nowhere near the trash can I sing in. So, um,
Well,
yeah.
so speaking of musicals, I like musicals too. Rent, great
Mhm.
musical. Um, did you see where they came out with a movie on HBO? I think it is HBO Max. It's called Tick Tick Boom, and it's
Mm-mm.
basically the story of how Rent was
Oh,
came about, and it follows the like storyline of the guy, the playwright, played by Andrew, what's his face, that is Spider-Man. I can't think of what his last name is, but I've seen some amazing reviews for that movie, and I yeah, so there's like people who are like talking like Oscar buzz for him because of just how well he
that's
performed
impressive.
that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
something to look into if you're looking for something that's a little more like probably like a newer musical to check out, especially about a very famous musical on top of that. So, but
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, there's so many of those too. That's a whole nother show. We could talk musicals. I'd be all about that, honestly, which is something that probably most people wouldn't think that I would be maybe into, but um, I was around that stuff quite a bit when I was
Yeah.
younger, and I enjoy going to that kind of thing
Mhm.
nowadays when I get the chance. So yeah.
I just love singing, just like in the shower, in the car, or whatever else. And those are songs you really just belt.
Yep.
You have to pull it from the diaphragm and just all the way down and all the way out. And I love the way they just put so much force behind the notes that they're hitting and the words that they're singing. That's what I really love about musicals personally.
Yeah. Did you see where they remade Little Orphan Annie, and that's being brought out as sort of like a holiday type of thing here next week? I think it comes out, but they recasted it, reshot
Yeah.
it. It's actually going to be a live production. I think they've done that in the past few years, where they around this time of year they do some sort of live production
Hmm.
of a musical. But they've got like Harry Connick Jr. is playing the billionaire in it, and Little Orphan Annie is actually this young was it young black actress. Like I don't even know who she is actually. She's like a child actor or whatever, but I mean she's got some lungs, man. She can belt.
Hmm.
So it'll be very interesting to see how that all plays out exactly. But I'll definitely be watching that because it's going to be on live television. I think it's like December 3rd, maybe.
Hmm.
So coming up here pretty soon.
So
But
what would be your favorite, like if you could only watch one Christmas movie in the like October, November, December timeline, right?
mhm.
What would be your one movie that you would say, yeah, this is it for me for Christmas? This is the movie that I'd watch.
I'm gonna have to go with National Lampoon Christmas Vacation.
All
I
right,
really
all right.
am. I
Yeah,
I,
it's
I, I pride
it's
myself on
hilarious.
I pride myself on trying to deck out my yard with as much Christmas lights as I can. Not so much this year with my shoulder, but in years past, I've done a pretty good job of decorating, honestly. And my wife jokes at me, and Corey calls me Clark Griswold quite frequently.
I was gonna say, yeah, we call it because Marnie had asked me, she said, well, are you going to, are we going to decorate for Christmas? And I said, yeah, we're going to be out of town because normally we'll put up the tree and everything the day after Thanksgiving,
Right.
that Friday.
That's what we do too.
And we'll be out of town. So it's going to be Saturday afternoon or Sunday probably before we do any of that. And she said, so are you just going to put up a few lights, or are we just going to really Clark Griswold this thing? And I'm like, I love it that you know that reference, because I can't even, she just doesn't even like that kind of movie, really. She's definitely not a National Lampoon
Yeah.
fan, overall, but what that means.
Oh
because
yeah.
when he put it on, I mean, when he and his wife goes in there, and I forgot her name, sorry, but she goes back into the shed and she's looking around and she flips the light on or whatever,
Yep.
which powers the cords. He can't figure out what's going on, and then they all come on, and you can, I mean, you can see it from space almost. I mean, you can see his
Mhm.
whole yard and everything lights up. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I can do that. I can do that. That would be awesome. But
It's just got so many great quotes in it, honestly.
yeah,
You know, I mean, it really does. I mean, everything, you know, you've got, gosh, there's so many good lines in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
Yep.
and then you've got George Burns is in there. He's got some great lines. I mean, uh, they want you to say Grace. What? Grace died, well, how many years ago? They want you to say the blessing. I've used that one at the dinner table before.
Oh, have you? Nice, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will say for me, my hands down, if I only had one movie, one Christmas type movie that I could watch for those 3 months, it would be Love Actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Love Actually. Explain. Yeah. I'm very curious.
Do you know that movie?
I don't know a lot about it, but I know of it.
What I probably, if you say like, what do you love? I love love. I just love love stories. I love romance. I love the in and out of a relationship. I love how people interact and really come closer to being one person in a lot of ways. And Love Actually is just a symphony almost of 8 or 9 different stories. Well, no, I think it was 5 or 6 different stories that all kind of wind together, and they're all interconnected and you don't realize it.
Okay.
They look like, okay, this guy's over here and he's doing this, and what's going on over there, we don't know. And then this person over here is doing something completely different. It ends up that they're related, or this is their, brother-in-law or whatever. They end up at the same Christmas party, at the same Christmas play, which is just amazing.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie. I know, because there's a little boy involved in it, isn't there?
Yeah, and he gives one of the perfect lines, and he talks to, I forgot his dad's name, the guy that was in Taken.
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson. Man, how did I forget his name? Just happens. But Liam Neeson is his dad, right? And he looks at him and he goes, and his Liam Neeson's wife has passed away, and his son is very, very sad, of course, and grieving, and just and so he sits down with him, says, okay, so tell me first. I just want to know, is it drugs? And he goes, what? No. He goes, all right, well, is it your mother? And he said, yeah, but no. I mean, yeah, but no. And he said, what is happening? He goes, the worst thing that could possibly ever happen to you. And Liam Neeson's like, oh man, what's up? What is it? And his son looks at him and he goes, I'm in love. And Liam Neeson's like, what? No, oh my God, that's amazing. I was thinking of all these horrible things. And the kid looks at him and goes, is it the best thing? And Liam Neeson sits down, suddenly goes, wow, no. Oh no, I guess not. Oh, I'm so sorry, and how he fell in love with this girl at school, basically. And he goes in and he starts learning to be a drummer because she's a singer, and her mom's a famous singer. And so she's going to be singing, and she sings All I Want for Christmas. And she also has the pipes, and she really pushes that song, and it was really great. But it just, all of the stories that just commingle together in that movie, and they're all about people falling in love, and it's like cool. A guy who's a writer who meets the lady that he goes like off to a cottage by himself at a pond to sit and focus on his writing. He's got to get a book written, right? And the lady that comes in and cleans the house, and she speaks, I don't know, it's like she speaks Portuguese. I don't remember, but it's not English, and he only speaks English, and they can't really, relate to each other, but she's there so often, and he's writing, and finally he breaks out and starts writing and gets his writing done and what have you, and realizes that he's fallen in love with her. He drops her off at the airport or whatever. And he's just like, I don't know how to even talk to you. I can't say anything. So he goes and learns her language and goes to her father's house and says, I'm here to marry your daughter. And he says it very horribly. It was awful. They had subtitles, and what he said was just wrong. And so the dad goes, what? Okay. And he yells to his daughter and says, come down here. And the lady's sister comes down. And he's like, this man wants to marry you. And he's like, what? I don't even know him. And he's like, oh no, it's your other daughter. And so again, speaking this horrible language. So they're going down to where she's working at a restaurant, and he's there. The whole town is following him at this point to see what's going on. And he goes in and he says to her in very horrible, whatever language they were speaking, that I love you. and will you marry me? And everybody's like, oh, wow, that's, it was very badly done, but it's still, she got the point. And she looks at him and says in English, because she learned English to talk to him, because she was going to come find him.
Yeah.
Because she'd fallen in love with him too. And she says, yes, I will marry you. And it's just like little floaty hearts everywhere. I love that movie. I love that movie so much.
Sounds like a good one. I might have to revisit that one then, because that does sound good. Now I will say that there have been some really good movies made recently, like that I've seen on Netflix, that really kind of encapsulate like sort of like the old traditional Christmas ways in a bit, and almost somewhat like to like the roots of it. So, for one, like, have you seen the movie Claus that talks about like the origin of Santa Claus? It's like a cartoon.
It's it's an animated. Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is really good. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they did a great job just with folklore of Santa and everything involved with it. So I thought that was pretty cool. The other one I thought was really neat was the Christmas Chronicles that they put out.
I don't know that one either.
So Christmas Chronicles is so that movie has Kurt Russell, and it has what is her? It's his wife, Goldie Hawn. So Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn as Santa and Mrs. Claus. I just looked it up. They hit the bill like with it, and it's action and it's just really well done, honestly, for a movie that just, hey, like, let's watch this as a family kind of thing, and it's fun, and it's got a lot of really neat things in it. So that's one that I thought was really cool, or like just new movies that they've been putting out with just everything. And I feel like sometimes people try a little too hard on movies when it comes to it.
The CGI animated one, Rise of the Guardians.
I haven't seen that.
Where it's Santa Claus and Jack Frost, and I just looked it up a second ago so I can remember all the characters, but it's basically all the guardians of the holidays that are coming in, and they're trying to save basically the good in the world in Christmas. It's a really cool the kids love it.
Yeah.
Jack Frost, Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, and I can't remember who the other person, I think he's Summer, but I don't remember who he is. But Jack Frost is very like, no, I'm not doing this. I don't know you guys. Very, very emo teenager.
Jack Frost is always like an emo character.
Well, yeah, well, he's Frozen. Funny. I mean, that's not the movie Frozen. Don't get excited, kids. But yeah, he's so cold. He's so cold.
He's cold. He's a cold-hearted guy.
He is.
Or in the words of an old song, he's a cold-hearted killer. Paul Abdul.
Oh yeah, cold-hearted snake. So what about, do you remember Serendipity with John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale?
I do. That's been a while ago, but yeah, that's been
2001. Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a minute.
Not a new movie. And that I will say too is one of my tops, because I love John Cusack.
Okay.
Everything that he's done, especially, I mean, from Better Off Dead way back in the 80s or whenever it was.
John Cusack does great movies.
He's just, Grosse Point Blank was hands down one of my favorite. I'd probably say top 10.
High Fidelity, man.
High Fidelity, definitely.
High Fidelity is definitely one of my tops for him.
Serendipity is right there too. And he just, it's just all the movies that he's done have really been kind of just a little bit goofy and not quite serious enough. But that's kind of really where he fell in, even in a kind of a serious role, he still kind of goofed it up. But in Serendipity, it was definitely about, I met this lady, and the lady said, yeah, well, if it's meant to be, I guess we'll meet again, and just poofs, and just ghosts him. Yeah. And he's like, whoa. And then years later, they do happen to meet. And it was just, I love the whole thought of it. I don't really believe in serendipity per se, but I love the idea of it in that movie.
Yeah.
And again, John Cusack, Kate Beckinsale, and she's, just smoking hot. So
yeah. All right, well, I got a good one for you. This one will be interesting. So have you ever seen the 1986 version of Babes in Toyland?
The 86? No, I don't think so.
No. So the 86 version has a cast that involves Drew Barrymore,
all right,
and Keanu Reeves.
Oh,
yeah.
Those are both very amazing actors to me. So yeah,
and they're kids. I mean, this is from 1986. They are. She's like the little sister, and like Drew Barrymore's like the little sister in it, and then you've got Keanu Reeves is like the older brother. But yeah, it's
I'll look that up.
it was something that I watched when I was a kid because at that time I was about 6 years old, so it was like the perfect timing on it. But yeah, every time I hear like every time I think about Christmas, I think of Babes in Toyland as well, because I was like, oh, like that's a Christmassy movie.
So I'm looking at it, and 1934 was the one that
The original,
the black and white. Yeah, I guess it would. I hope it's the original. Were they even making films before 34? I don't know. It's a long time ago, man.
Oh yeah, they've been making films. Have been around forever.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, yeah,
listed as a Christmas movie, but for me, that is not anything. I mean, it is. Yeah, okay, sure, I agree. I won't argue with that. But at the same time, I never would have thought of that as a Christmas movie. That's not where it's just a freaking comedy. They're hilarious. John Candy. I mean,
yeah,
and Steve Martin. Man, the man's a genius.
Well, and it's also funny too that John Candy ends up in Home Alone, kind of doing the same sort of thing that he's doing in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yep.
So that's I think a throwback for because he's like in the airport trying to get home, can't do it, so they rent a moving van. It's like, so you get the planes and the automobiles part in it. But yeah,
do you remember him in Uncle Buck?
I do.
Man, I love that movie so much.
Well, and that's Macaulay Culkin in there too.
Yeah. And he's like, he goes up to the lady because the principal or whatever is being all mean to his kid or whatever and being very demanding. He goes up and she's got a mole on her face, and he tosses her a quarter and he goes, here's 25 cents. Go downtown and have a rat and all that thing off your face. And just walks out, and she's just like, and the kids are like, and then they run out, of course, after Uncle Buck. But it really was just such a different style of parenting for him as opposed to what his parents did, because they're loving and nurturing and they're going to get this. But every once in a while, you got to pull little Uncle Buck out of there, in my opinion, because every once in a while, you're like, no. Okay, this is ridiculous. I know polite is polite, but yeah, you're being really just mean to my kid. Let's just stop this, Another movie, though, that's got sort of that like quintessential, like different parenting styles of things and everything. Jingle All the Way. Oh,
seriously. Parenting styles of Arnold Schwarzenegger versus Sinbad. I mean, those two guys is hilarious.
That's awesome.
And just the way, that movie is just awesome all around. And I'm actually, that's on, I think it's on Disney Plus. And I was like, man, I got to watch this with the kids because this is hilarious. They'll get a good kick out of it.
So are there any Christmas movies that you do not like, that your family just needs to watch or wants to watch, and you have to watch with them?
I am not a fan of Tim Allen, the Santa Claus.
Santa Claus, really? Oh, I was even going to name that one. I thought that was a great movie.
I like so I'll put it this way. I like the first one, and they should have just stopped. Because 2 was a bit of a stretch, like what they were trying to do with the Santa Claus, and then with the marriage clause,
Mrs. Claus.
Yeah. And then 3 just got stupid. Like, I don't even know what they were. It was this like, oh, you've brought like a war into this whole thing. Like it just, and then Jack Frost was in there, and they
jumped the shark on 3. Yeah.
Oh, it was crazy.
Even saw it. I saw the previews. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch that.
It was horrible. I mean, yeah. So anyway, I'm just not a big fan of that franchise, honestly. Like I said, the first one was fine. Like it made total sense and what was going on. But after that, it was like they just reached way too far. So not a fan of those.
Well, I'm going to say mine, because that's why I asked, because this is something that I'm going to see if my wife actually listens to the whole podcast like she says she does. Because we're a few minutes in here, and what I want to do for my wife is to watch Little Women, which is considered a Christmas movie. It's on like the list of the best. Yeah, I mean it's not like top of the thing, but she loves that movie. We decided on our youngest child named Elizabeth, we call her Lizzie because of the character in Little Women. And I don't think I've read the book, and I know I've seen like the movie. Yeah.
Didn't they just redo it?
Mhm.
too. That's
Yep.
what I thought. Yeah.
They keep redoing it. It's great. Thanks, guys. Stop. But
Like
but
Pride and Prejudice, it keeps getting redone too.
that and Pride and Prejudice
Yeah.
are like my wife's pinnacle. Jane Austen.
Yep.
I can watch these movies anytime and every time, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Okay, let's go. Come on. Yeah, I'm just gonna put toothpicks to hold my eyelids open for the next 2 hours. Let's go. women.
I
Out of
don't
love.
see Little Women as a Christmas movie. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that one because
Mhm.
I'm trying to I'm racking my brain right now, just being like, how does that fall in the line? But I mean, I haven't
A
read
lot
the book,
of the biggest scenes happen at Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they just happen around Christmas time. So that's why it's, and again, my wife would take any excuse to, it's Thursday. Well, it's a very Thursday movie. Thursday's mentioned, I'm sure. So let's watch it. She would,
Yeah.
that and Pride and Prejudice. And it was really cool is that Pride and Prejudice and Zombies came out. And and it was, and I'm like, okay, let's watch this one. And we did, and she liked it. The characters are very cool. They're very, very
man.
confident young women killing zombies, and
Is that like Abraham Lincoln
yes.
zombie killer?
Right. Yeah. Wasn't he vampire? Did he kill was it
Or
zombies
vampire?
or
Or no, yeah, it was
I think
vampire killer.
vampires.
Yeah, vampire killer.
Yeah. And it was just like, okay, but it was surprisingly well done for a zombie movie, But anyway, yeah. So I again, if she listens to this, my love, I will I will sit and watch without grumbling Little Women with you if you hear this on the podcast.
All right. Well, we'll check back.
However,
the following
if someone
week.
tells her, Corey,
She doesn't listen to the show.
I should think that too.
She don't listen to the show.
Yeah.
I can tell you that right now.
Marnie wants to. She's like, you got a lot on your plate. I know you're busy, and we talk for an hour, man. That's a big pill to swallow. So,
yeah, Corey would probably be like, "I've already heard you talk about that." Like that's what she would probably say. I've already known that. Like, I don't need you to tell me. I know.
Yeah. Let's just tell her, Marnie listens to hear what Brock has to say. Maybe you could listen to what Danny has to say. Come on. Start that fight.
Listen, all right. That's a nice segue into the fact that, just so you know, from the previous conversation we were having about, like all the different stresses of being around family and everything, City Dads Group has a blog post that came out. Kevin McKeever wrote about de-escalating family fights with amazing tips during the holiday seasons, especially Thanksgiving. But I mean, I'm sure you can use it for Christmas as well. But if I went and did that, I'd have to actually read this blog so that I knew how to de-escalate the situation between me and Corey.
I think you should link that in the show notes. Sir.
I will.
I hate to give you more work, but that sounds exactly like the kind of thing.
That's why I brought it up.
Reading this.
Yeah. No. That's why I brought it up, man. It's all good. So, but yeah. I love Kevin McKeever. He's a great guy, amazing blog writer. And, he's got some awesome stuff on the City Dads group website. So I'll put a link in there for that, because I saw them post that, and it's been getting pushed out on Twitter and stuff. So it's been popping up a lot. And I was like, this sounds great. I think he's also got another one on Thanksgiving conversations to avoid at family gatherings. So
very important.
I think
very important.
And that could be holiday as well.
So much.
That one's actually from a while ago. Someone wrote Pete Gilbert wrote that back in 2018, but I'm sure it's probably still very relevant for today.
Maybe more so. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. But yeah, so I'll put those links on there so people can definitely read those. But yeah, man, I mean, I love talking about holiday movies, and I'm looking forward to watching them. We actually just watched A Christmas Story with my kids the other day, and they had a great time with it. The one movie that I didn't put out there because I haven't gotten to see it yet, but I'm really excited about because it comes out the 24th of November, is 8-Bit Christmas. It is the new take. It's on HBO Max. It is the new take on A Christmas Story, but it's from the mindset of the 90s and or 80s, 90s 8-bit systems. And you've got Doogie Howser, what's his name?
Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick Harris is the narrator in it, and it's basically talking about him as a kid. And the previews look awesome, and so I'm really looking forward to watching that. I was telling my kids about it. I was like, this is about my childhood, and I was like, the one previous I was like would be your grandpa's childhood kind of thing, and so they were like, oh, that sounds really neat. So I'm excited to see it. It's got lots of kids and stuff in it, so it's probably family friendly from that standpoint. To me, it seems that way. So yeah, who knows? We'll see how that plays out, but that's what I'm looking forward to. I really hope that everybody has a good holiday season. There's a lot that's going on, and I hope that at the beginning of our talk tonight that, that helped maybe spark some just momentum in contacting somebody, or, doing something that lets you know that you have people that you can reach out to. I know that, like I said, like Danny and I said, we've got ways for you to contact us.
Mm-hmm.
Please reach out to people locally as well too. And don't wait. Don't think that, I can handle this on my own type of deal. Like, reach out to people. Silence is a killer, man. And we don't want to see anything happen bad. And we also, we just want the best for everybody that listens to this show. So,
and we all need community.
Yeah,
we just all do. I mean, I need it. Brock needs it. We all just need that camaraderie, that brotherhood, that community, people that are a part of our network. We had it when we were kids, and it was so easy because we had everything in common because you didn't have any variety. And what do you want to do? Well, let's throw sticks at a body of water. Okay, let's do that. And it was fun. You get older and things get a little bit rougher, but you still need that community.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I'm the best person to be in everyone's community at all, because I'm kind of awkward, but I will say there are people out there for all of us. And if there's anything you need, just reach out. Start building that community, start building that back and forth, because we all need it.
Definitely. And it's been a rough year. So, hopefully everybody's, finding ways to find your joy and find some ways to just enjoy what's going on in life. Coming up in the next few weeks, as we finish up the year 2021 and everything, hopefully we're gonna get on. I'm really hoping, and I'm just gonna put it out there honestly, because this will push me to do it, but I really want to get Ariel Eisenberg to come on and talk about Hanukkah. He's just a great guy to talk to in general, but I think that bringing him on to talk about his heritage and what he's celebrating in his house would be great. And there's some things that have gone on in years past where our family, even though we're not Jewish, have jumped in on to, celebrate Hanukkah as well. But yeah, I think that that's going to be something that we're going to try to push for here in the upcoming future. And if there's a topic that you want to talk about that we haven't hit on, throw us a line and let us know what that is, and we'll work to get that put on there as well, and see where it goes. We always like new topics, and there's plenty of them out there. So
always happy to hear from you guys too. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. That's the one thing I love more than anything. I love hearing guys that are like, I just was looking around and I just found your guys' podcast. It's probably one of my favorite things. And that just always like makes my heart swell a little bit more. Yeah. So, but yeah, man, I mean, I'm gonna jump off of here, get the dad lounge going, because it's about that time, and got all the guys that are waiting to jump on and hang out for tonight for that. But until then, we'll talk to y'all again real soon. Have a good one.
Good night, everybody.
I'm a dad, that's what I do.